Second. Or aye.
3-0 on the
I'm still
agenda.
asleep.
Okay.
Next we go to the approval of the minutes of July 23rd. Do you have anything worthwhile to come on?
No,
I didn't have anything.
I did. Okay, under DPW report, I think it is, maybe the second page.
okay,
Yeah, second
Under
page.
DPW, yeah.
good, continuation of DPW, yep.
The 1, 2, 3, fourth bullet is about logs left by Asplund.
Mm.
And the last sentence says, inquiry to Asplund or Eversource to advise and get these logs removed. Inquiry by who? There's something missing out of that. What does that say to you, inquiry to Asplund? Who's making the inquiry?
It's left open.
So I'd like to clean that up a little bit.
Yep.
So who would make the inquiry? We didn't say that.
Well, has the office been in contact with any of these, any whatsoever? Point of contacts on the,
No,
nope?
I actually thought DPW was doing that.
You want me to call
I'm
them?
just assuming.
Yeah, well, let's stick, through default, we'll have Jeff be the one that inquires into Asplund as to.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be Asplund. I mean,
Yeah.
Eversource, subcontracted Asplund. to
Yeah,
do the-
I'll call
do
that
the
guy
movement.
Ray. I think
Okay.
I still have his number. Otherwise, maybe it's in the office still.
But are they going to wanna have more specificity, did I pronounce that word correct? It's a tough word, as to exact locations that we want them to clear out the excess, down trees?
I'll ask them if they're coming to pick anything up that they left laying in the road, the
Throw out
woods.
Eidelweiss.
Right, but you as a plow operator, I imagine you have some concerns about specific areas that could cause you issues come.
Yeah, well,
winter?
there's quite a few.
So I
right
think
up
that
by
they're
the
gonna
road.
wanna know that.
Yep,
$33 short.
yes. That's top
I
of the
think you said that
list.
last time.
Was that with that piece? And then under number 8 in the minutes,
Still DPW report?
no, it's 8's correspondence.
Correspondence, okay.
In the first paragraph, it says, it is suggested that they investigate filing a warrant article. I think that wants to be petitioned.
Yes, in
Oh, okay.
filing a petition warrant article.
Yes.
And
Partitioned.
a
Petition.
petition, just leave it at that, because unless we wanna say, for next year's annual meeting, but let her figure it out.
So, the commissioners write warrant articles.
Right.
You haven't been through that yet.
No.
You have to get to next March. But the citizens can put a petition, warrant article on there by getting a petition signed by 10 registered voters.
Correct.
And so, once they submit that on time before the annual meeting,
Yeah.
then it has to be on the warrant.
Okay. I see.
It's a pretty powerful little thing.
Yeah.
And the voters decide.
Okay, great.
It's like democracy. So those are the changes that I have. Other than, I'd also like to, I should make a motion after we approve that. So, with those changes, any other changes you'd like to see to the minutes?
No, I thought it accurately reflected what we
All in favor?
discussed.
Aye.
3-0. Now I'd like to make a motion that we not use this letterhead on the minutes.
So no logo.
No logo, no header.
What do you mean header?
You mean the little logo?
Every page has the Village District of Eidelweiss Commissioners meeting and then the logo.
Yeah, the one that carries over for each page.
Because it's
yeah.
in the header of the Word document, so it keeps copy.
Correct.
When you print it, it doesn't do that on every page, it just looks like, oh.
Yeah, no, it does,
Well,
because,
the logo's under the staple.
right, because
Yeah.
it's in the header, it's not in the body
The
of
old
the
minutes
Word
never
document.
had any of this in there, and on the screen it doesn't look great. It actually looks better printed, but
It does, yeah,
It's
the
a
screen
waste.
always looks better.
it's a waste of space. And on some of the pages, the typing starts right under,
Right. Well, the way you correct that is take this out of the header, so this would only appear on page number 1, and then everything would continue on without a repeat of this on page 2 and 3 and 4, or however many pages there are. That's all, it's a simple fix. I think for the first page, it's appropriate, looks good. But it's a very simple fix.
okay, so make a motion that it's just on the first page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second,
Aye,
So, second.
all in favor, aye, I guess?
Aye.
sorry,
3-0.
jumped the gun. Nancy, you gotta beat me to that.
So that's the minutes.
Okay.
Now at 9:08, we'll move to the operations manifest.
Which has been corrected from,
Yeah, there's an $18 change in the amount. I mean, yeah, $18. I think it was $18, approximately. And that had to do with the additional charge from paychecks in filing quarter.
So where is the number correct on the?
Manifest, correct.
On the manifest or the agenda?
Both.
So in the manifest, we have total dollar amount in checks is $45,622.31. And we are adding to that, we're taking out of that a total of $1,364.10 that was gonna be,
Okay, so the manifest has been updated, which you did not, well, the copy was sent this morning. So
right, it's a
you're
very
looking
late
at-
change.
Right,
the one I got
Right.
yesterday.
Yep.
So what are my numbers here? Let's see.
so the total amount is $47,004.41.
Yep.
The change was to the debit EFT on the manifest of adding additional $18.
Okay. So, motion to discuss a $47,004.41 operating manifest for today. Needs a second.
Second.
So we have on here, 40,000 of that is transferring money from the Bank of New Hampshire to the New Norway bank account.
Northway.
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 Then of particular interest would be, we bought gravel, and I believe this represents 10 truckloads, not of even amounts. One of them was 7 cubic yards, and the rest of them all seem to be 10.
Yeah, well, what happens is you go in there and they give you a load, and Tony being Tony, he said, give me a load. So after that, they started loading the truck a little bit.
Oh, I gotcha.
You know,
So, a little less than 10 Tony truckloads cost $988.22.
Yes.
Just for your guidelines there. Does Coleman still have these cards? You probably don't go in the office that much.
well, you gotta go in there on the scale. You go in, you weigh in at first, and then you go back out, and every time you go in to get the slip.
They had these cards that had the prices of all this stuff. We used to
Oh.
have it, remember we used to keep
Yeah.
it on the desk.
Oh yeah, I could probably get a price
Why don't
list.
you grab 3 of those at least?
Okay.
I'm sure Wood'a wants one for his card collection.
Yeah, I do.
Alright, so anything else interesting here? Cabana Lights, you got that light project
Yes.
done with the family for, and you were
Yep,
paying
all
Jamie
done.
Brown $2,050.
He did a great job.
And we're reimbursing Doug for panels that he picked up,
Tiles, the
Tiles,
overhead
ceiling
tiles.
and that reimbursement is for Lowe's for how much?
102.90.
102.90, yep. And what else we have? We're paying health insurance for our, the employees this month is $2,252.53.52.
Mm-hmm.
Napa, we bought some of that blue magic fluid for the exhaust
The
systems.
blue deaf, yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Def.
That's
Mhm.
generally what it was, yeah, all of it.
And payroll for the board and for the treasurer.
And the float, bought the float,
Yeah, 3 floats.
one float.
No,
1 float?
No one,
I wanted to get a couple. We made the motion for 300. They were 165 apiece.
plus Maine tax, they don't
Yeah.
sell them in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, no, I tried over at, Center Harbor Dock and Pier, but, and I bought them there in the past, but he gets them from this guy over in Naples, Maine, Great North Docks, and he said they got in a big beef stew one time, they weren't ordering enough, so he stopped buying them from them. Because there's other different types, the thing is they're different sizes.
Right.
And, you know, Silver Lake sells one, but again, it's not the same size, so they're not gonna match up with what we have, and I didn't think you'd wanna replace all 6 of them.
Nothing simple, huh?
No, so that's something to keep in mind for the future, but, I mean, I looked at the other ones on the raft that was turtled.
Right.
And they all look pretty good to me.
They do, and you know, that one was a crack. If you looked at them, there's a spot to screw them down into the wood.
Yep.
And they all have one on the long ends, and then the short ends, there's 3. And that's where it broke. And you know, again, if they were getting on one side and running up and jumping off, and it slaps back down.
At the first Steve concert from 2 weeks ago, that's exactly what they were doing. I was watching those kids out there saying,
And
"Oh,
that's
man."
what Doug said. I mean,
They're
they
being-
get old, they get brittle, and,
They're being
and
really
things
rough.
break.
And they're really getting rough on that swim raft. I wish
And
they
that's
wouldn't be so. But
why I was
kids will be
hoping to
kids.
get a couple or a few of them. You know, last time I bought them, like I said, I thought they were like $89. So I thought I can get 3 of them. But
Wow.
when I made the phone call and they said they were $165, I said I'm just going to get the one, and we want to get a couple more in the future. They have them over there. It's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, maybe in the future we should always have 1 or 2 in
On
spares
hand.
ready to go, but that's for next year.
Right. It's
I-
for another
Any further
time.
discussion on $47,004.41? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Now we'll move on to the water manifest for $860. And that seems to be paying a bill to the engineer for work on the Como BRV, 2 hours work. Is that what that
And
is?
a water hookup approval, or, there's a water hookup, I think.
He did a water and water.
That was just, all that was on the manifest was the Broad King bill that I saw.
That's all that's on the water manifest,
Yes.
yes.
Right, right. And I agree with you, the way they bill is very odd.
It is.
It's
Thank
They're
you.
showing all these
Thank you,
prior
I'm just
bills.
showing Nancy,
It's
and
just- it's
Nancy
very
was like,
odd.
okay.
It's scary until you get to the
But
bottom and see
you
that
can
it's only
figure it out, I
$100.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Looks like
Yeah.
it's tens of thousands
It's
of
like,
dollars.
I know.
well, I guess they're keeping a running track. How much business have we done with?
In some ways,
So-
that's good.
Motion to approve the manifest for $860.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Next, we move on to the DPW report at 9:15. And first bullet here is a Chadwick Bay Ross quotes.
Yes.
So
I'm seeing the push pole.
yeah, the piston came. Dale came by and he picked up the piston that was giving us the problem at the end of last winter. We eliminated the fact that it was in the switches themselves that operate that piston. So he thought it might be something inside in the casing of the piston. So he stopped by. We took it apart. We gave him the piston, and in that there's another arm on the wing that goes in and out, and that's wearing the tube really badly.
This thing.
That thing, yes. So that's not the piston that he took
right.
for the problem we had last year. This was something else that we asked them to just see what that would cost to replace that, and you could see the price on that. It's kind of crazy. So that's nothing that we have to move on right now. That's not what's caused us a problem at this point. But that is some $3,400 or something like
Yeah.
that, and then a $400
$426.90.
delivery charge.
Is that just for the part, or that includes installation? I'm trying
Nope, that's just for the part.
It doesn't
and the
include labor
delivery.
at all.
No, we put that back together. I mean,
Oh, you.
they build. I guess what it is, they have to build that.
Jeez.
It's not something they have off the shelf anymore. So that's part of the wing assembly for the grader. Again, that's,
So this has been pushing snow for 10 years,
yeah, plus.
hitting rocks,
Right.
And that slides, that's the one that posts that,
push pole, go
Yeah.
around the telephone pole.
you know,
Right.
and up and down, and it holds right there with all that weight on it as it's going, and it's worn the tube. that it goes in and out of.
So now anybody tracking how many, as we add on to this Bay Rust bill? I think we're over 23,000.
Yeah, it could be because that other one, the other quote was on those tandems for the oil that the brakes are in. That's what that other $1,100 quote was. That's the seal he told me that's
Silicone.
gone.
Yep.
And they've gotta clean that up, pull that apart, and then put a new seal in on that.
So is he looking for approval to buy this, order this part?
That's the thing. That's, like I said, that's not something right now that needs to be done to hold us up for getting that back working. That's something we might wanna readdress. He said it does take about 3 weeks for that part of that arm of the wing.
Well, here's the question, is this the existing piece gonna get us through the winter, or no?
It's a crapshoot.
It's a
You know,
crapshoot.
that's what I'm saying. This piece works. It's gonna work. It may be something come October we might want to readdress and put an order in for that. You know what I mean? Because then you're gonna get it in 3 weeks. You still have the one that's working. How long that one's gonna work and hold up, and go. You know how I can't answer that.
They're gonna deliver it here, and he's gonna come up and put it on?
Yeah, they'd either, he said they could ship it either here or there. If they shipped it there, they'll drive it up, and then we'll put it on.
Yeah, he said Tony and Jeff can install it.
Right.
We're just ordering the part.
Yeah, that's just a part on the wing that we put on and off all the time, you know, I mean, that's not
And
something.
is this piece used during non-winter
No.
use of the grader, just for winter?
No, that goes on the wing for the grader.
Make a motion that we order this part now.
I'm thinking so, because if it
Second.
fails during the winter, that's it.
Right.
You lose.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
3-0.
so this doesn't show delivery charge on this.
It had the 3,400 and then it's a $400 to ship it.
Okay, so you'd be adding $400 to this.
Right, it wouldn't just be the 34 change, it's gonna
Correct.
end up being 38 or 39.
Is it something you can drive, we can drive down and get it?
No, see, they build it up over in Sweden or something and they ship it
Oh,
to
I
Bay
get,
Ross.
I get.
They're either gonna ship it to Bay Ross or they're gonna
Alright.
ship it to us.
All right.
$400?
This
That's
is,
what he
do you know
said.
if this is a Craig part or is this a Volvo part? Because I think the wing is all Craig to add on.
That's where it gets a little funny
I don't know if
because,
that, it doesn't matter. I just wondered.
yeah, it's kind of a both.
So we're looking at roughly $4,000 between the part itself and shipping.
Right,
Okay.
correct.
All set with that motion? Did you catch all that? Because we were voting while you were still.
Yeah, I don't, yeah. So,
We made a motion
there's
to,
2 separate parts to this. You get the part,
Right,
and then you get this.
yeah, you wanna add them up for this motion?
well, cause like what Jen's saying here is that's the 34 plus the 4, that's just for that one part, and then you gotta
Correct.
still make a motion on the
Right,
1100 for the seal kit.
right.
Right.
There's the 2 separate
So
issues.
let's, did you catch the push-pull part we're ordering? We motioned and seconded we approve
That.
buying this.
Right, and you'll
Now we
have to
can go,
sign it
if
so
you
I
got
can
this,
send
we'll
it
go back
back.
to the other one.
Is that the proper nomenclature for this piece, the push-pull part?
Yes,
Okay, just,
a big word there for me, Woody.
it's a big word for all of us, yeah.
Okay,
Pickle peppers.
okay. Now we'll move on to,
Now you want a motion for,
Approving the seal kit.
Case oil leak.
Cause that could hold us up for getting that back right now, so that.
Yeah, we need that now.
This arm, the push-pull, it's great, we're gonna get it, but it's
Yeah.
not something that's gonna hold us up
Correct.
for getting this back, cause they
I'll
could
make a
get.
motion to approve the repair of the right side chain case oil leak for $1,168.
But it says, note, freight and tax not included in estimate. The 11,
Plus freight and tax.
Second.
aye.
Aye.
3-0 on approving this judgment.
So we don't know the ultimate price, but it can't be that much for this, right?
Right.
Freight and,
No, he said, what there is there, the labor, the part is nothing, it's a sealant or something, he said that the labor is in, the money's in the labor on fixing that.
and cleaning it up.
Right, cleaning it up and all
Yeah,
that.
parts is
Parts
$100,
$100.
parts are 100,
Labor's
labor's.
$1,080.
Right, so I
Yeah.
can't
Wow.
imagine.
So the taxes
You
on.
guys better take really, really good care of this thing when it gets back. You got a brand new baby almost.
I know, I
So the
know.
taxes on the $100 of silicon,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that's it just.
That'll be,
one thing,
yeah, it'll be minimal.
All right, so on to the next thing. Which is scheduled to meet owner at 14 Little Shore
Yep.
Drive.
When is that?
That's what we're hoping to schedule.
Oh.
Hopefully.
Because I'm available when, you know,
So just FYI, he paid his water bill.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I found it this morning, so.
I think that's a separate discussion, but
Yes.
not right now.
It is.
Yes,
But still,
but,
Yep,
it's nice to know there.
yep. Well, I wasn't meaning specifically to this individual, I'm talking
Yeah,
community-wide.
correct.
Okay, so, I did see he gave some dates and times he was available.
Yep.
Where are they?
he's generally available every day in sort of like late afternoon when he's
Right.
home. We just gotta let him know.
Do you have
Yeah.
an idea of what a permanent fix for that can be?
a pipe, a culvert.
Ditching?
The ditching is tough because
It's gotta go somewhere.
it's gotta go somewhere. It comes down that hill, it goes in the house above in that culvert and gets dispersed, but then from there down, it's got nowhere to go.
But,
It's,
can I add a wrinkle?
Yeah.
Not being an expert here, but he often parks his big truck
yeah,
in just below his driveway, there's a pulling area.
yeah.
Could that be causing some of his problems?
Well, I mean, not necessarily, it's just what's causing the problems is there's nowhere for the water to continue to go. The water's running down into the ditch, but it's just eroding the ditch because there's nowhere for it to get out of the ditch and up into the woods. So that's, you know, that's what culvert pipes do, is they carry the water,
Right, but there's nowhere to go down.
but below that, below the house there is where it gets off into the road, below where the truck's parked.
Yeah,
So by putting the pipe in, again, that driveway's not gonna be, I don't know how long it is, 60 feet, as it is
That's-
now, or whatever it is. So by putting let's say you went with the variance and gave them the 30-foot pipe, you're gonna have where the paved will be where the pipe kinda goes before that, and then it's gonna end somewhere down below there where that extra parking is.
right, so where do you send the water?
And this is why we need to have a conversation and meet at the site, I'm guessing. You know, cause then that area may not be able to be a parking area.
That's what was my concern, I was looking at
You
it
know,
saying,
I
first,
don't
where do we
know.
send the water, what is the solution, how do we get this, but, whether there is a good solution or not, let's say there is, let's say we find a solution, would the parking of that huge delivery truck upset that in the future?
It's a possibility.
That's not just a regular vehicle, that's a big,
Right.
Well, if the mouth of the driveway gets smaller, it's gonna be a little more difficult for him, I think.
For all sorts of parking. I mean, you know, okay, that's just,
you may have to sacrifice that then.
That's part of what we wanna consult the attorney about, is changing the mouths of some of these driveways that are
Right.
60 feet wide.
Yeah.
Exactly, because it's only supposed to be 20.
Right,
So,
okay, so I guess we just need to figure out when we can meet.
So, do you have an idea, is there a crossroad culvert further downhill from him?
no.
Where does the water exhaust? It just sinks into the ground?
Yeah, it almost, I'm trying to think.
There is one down by,
Yeah, a couple more houses down.
couple more houses
Right,
down.
right, as you
It
get,
goes
then
across the
there's
road?
that grate,
But that's pretty flat.
that's way down there.
So, we probably should walk the road from the boulder back to this
Mhm.
thing, so
yeah,
We need to have all, 4 sets of eyes or more.
this isn't
look at this.
just this numbered house, this is that road.
Right, and this is
Correct.
why it's been put to the back burner.
And the house that's downhill from them has a very small circular driveway,
Yeah.
so it would be hard to put any type of piping.
With no
in there.
culvert, so it's a mound that they drive up on.
Mhm.
So this may be a dumb question, but what did the board of 7 years ago envision as a solution to this? I read the letter from 2017. Oh, not even tunnel vision. It was just see no evil, hear no evil.
Right. Again, I
Just
just,
keep fixing it,
Yeah,
yep.
which,
Right, and we need to get out of that mode.
that business, yeah.
so that's, I think what we're doing is, now we need to pick the date that we're out there looking at this road and then meeting with the homeowner.
Right.
What works for him? Did I catch that?
He's
Most
home every
afternoons.
afternoon around 2, you just gotta tell him what day. And Wednesday, he's wide open on Wednesdays, you just gotta let him know.
Wednesday at 2:30, we have a Zoom,
Yes.
Right.
which we should remember, that's a non-meeting.
But we're getting together anyway. Is it possible that we could start a meeting there before 2:30? How long is it? Probably couldn't take more than
Takes
an hour.
twice as long as you think it's gonna take,
Always does.
Uh-huh.
because everything has to be repeated twice.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm
if
just
it-
saying, plenty of time. Don't think you're doing this in a half hour and making it to a Zoom.
No. I was thinking an hour, but I'm okay with an hour and a half. I mean, if we wanted to meet like right after lunch on Wednesday with him, and then give ourselves a drop dead date, give him a full hour, maybe a little bit more, and then go over to the office. I'm just saying, that's proposing that. I'm up to other.
Well,
Options.
he's not there until 2.
Oh, I thought he was
Well, he's
open all day.
wide open on
Wednesdays, I
Wednesdays,
think
you
is
just
a day
gotta let him
off.
know.
Wednesdays, okay.
Yeah, he said
Right.
all day Wednesday.
Right, but you still gotta give him a rough time, he's not
Yeah.
gonna wait around all day.
Let's be like a Spectrum and say.
Yeah, you don't wanna be like a cable guy.
Here's your window.
So I'll watch that.
Between-
8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon.
Stay in your living room all day, bye. So, Wednesday, what time Wednesday?
12:30?
12:30.
Okay,
That was easy, huh?
okay.
And is there anything else on that? I didn't-
Nope.
Those are the 2 bullets that are on the agenda.
Okay, so I got a list here.
No,
Met with Doug, so like we all know about the raft, so we took care of that. And Tony and I were able to launch that yesterday and figure the system out. Hopefully we got it right, looks right,
Oh,
everything's good.
without Doug present?
Without Doug,
Oh,
he
wow.
couldn't make it there with us yesterday, so we took a shot and we made it work.
This is where Doug says, no, it's all wrong.
Right, could be. No, I think we got it. I met with Doug on Friday and we took those lights out of the cabana.
Thank
Got
you.
them to the dump, no problem, you're welcome.
The old fluorescent.
Yeah.
Almost electrocuted Doug last year, yeah.
Hopefully that's getting better. I did have a question about the house across from building 2 that's got that tree. That's right at the end of the road and a couple of limbs going right into the road. And could we trim that up? I mean, I can't think of it.
DPW 2,
Yes,
on the
Right.
opposite side of the road,
yeah.
there's,
I forget the, no, I think it's where that accident was last year where they hit the rock there, but there's a tree that's in, kind of right there on the edge of the road and it leans in like towards building 2 into the road. And, a lot of people have to go, they kind of whip out around it, and if somebody's coming down the hill, it could be potentially dangerous. So I don't know if we could just, I don't take the whole tree, but cut a few
Is it on
limbs.
the owner's property itself, or?
Well, yeah, it's on their property, it's in like the road, the shoulder of the road type of thing,
Power lines go through there as well?
They're probably a little higher, it's pretty low.
Yeah.
so I make a motion to notify the property owner that we wanna cut that tree.
Yeah, or at least trim it, we could make it nice and trim those limbs up there.
so
but
I need an address.
I'll get you the address on that, I didn't notice it.
Okay,
We're 24, so it's probably like 23 or 21, but I don't wanna guess.
so you're looking to just cut it?
I think we could trim back a little bit,
Okay.
but either way, it's definitely too
Yeah.
far into the road on that
A
side.
judgment call, trim or either take out completely.
Right.
Okay, so Mark made a motion, I'll second that.
I'm all for it, aye.
Okay.
Aye.
3-0.
Talked about the quotes. So The backhoe is at about 930 hours, so I'm gonna give them a call, John Deere, if it's all right to go and get that 1,000-hour service scheduled on that. We're gonna have them mount those fluorescent, the lights that we got for it there, the flashers, and get that blower calibrated properly on that. So I wanna get that scheduled in and going if you guys are,
And the cost of the service is included in the lease payments?
that I don't know.
I doubt it.
I didn't put that thing together, you know, that was prior. I don't know how that lease agreement was put together.
Okay.
And generally, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
Well, it's worth asking, so we know we're gonna have to anticipate a
Right.
cost on this. Okay.
When was the last time it was serviced?
I believe there was a 200-hour service done on it
Oh.
at some point, or there was a service done, you know, shortly after we got it, that I know we did. Again, I can't say
Yeah.
how it was paid, you know, if it was part of the thing or not, I wasn't.
Who do you
doing
do
it.
the service through?
John Deere,
Okay.
United, or whatever they go by nowadays. So, is that,
I have stuff if you're,
no, I mean,
I
am I
think he's
able to
looking
move
to
forward
see
on that?
If he can
Okay.
go and schedule this.
yeah, we wanna stay on top of the maintenance of this.
Right,
If we
right,
don't have
okay,
anything
we're all
from
on the same
grader,
page
right?
with that. That 9 Eidelboden, we, you know, got into the raft first thing, we thought maybe it was a little more important, but then digging that out yesterday and doing that culvert, so we got the raft out and didn't wanna go doing that at the end of the day, but we did go over there and we dug the tree out that's in the mouth of the pipe, the culvert, and we moved the rock to make that job, so we kinda prepped that to get that dug out and get that done.
Have you seen that there's a contractor that took the driveway culvert out at the top of Lugano? They're there now.
They're there now,
It's
yes.
ditching and they took, so there's no driveway application for that, right?
No, I've never.
Where is this?
It's on Appinvale at the top of Lugano, so we're across from where Lugano and Appinvale connect.
Right at the
Yeah, it
tip.
looks, hopefully they're gonna pull a new culvert in there. I mean, that culvert's junk.
Yes.
They're,
Damaged by plows.
Yeah.
It wasn't covered,
um,
but you saw that they're doing that.
yes, I did see that,
So
and
they have-
I saw 3 piles of gravel sitting in the road too yesterday afternoon.
That's another one, those are gone now.
Oh, are they?
And that new modular house
Right,
that was
'cause-
built, they took the second driveway out.
Oh,
And
okay.
They put the 2 driveways in to get the modular home in there.
Right,
They took the one that was too close to the corner pin out completely, so.
and that's the same contractor doing that other job, so I don't know
That's the house
where
in
the
Appinvale?
gravel went. I just know at the end of the day yesterday, I saw the
I think
piles.
it probably went into both places.
Right, that's what I would think.
But he evidently owns that road where he can deposit his own material and store it there in our road. So
Yeah, you never asked me.
at least he's not putting down 1.5-inch sharp rock in the road.
Right.
Again. We're gonna
Yeah.
stop that from happening every time. I don't know why they do that.
What was he doing?
There's been more than one time that a contractor has decided that they marked up our road with their equipment, that they'll put 1.5
Gravel.
Rock.
Oh, ugh.
and driving on it is not good.
Yeah,
It's
should be
not
what,
what we want
3/4
on our
inch,
road.
if they're gonna do
For
that?
some reason, they think they can do anything they want to our
They
roads.
have
Yeah.
leftovers.
It happened on Bristol Stock, it happens all the way. Anyway, so that's, you're aware that's happening.
Yes,
right?
I've seen that, I saw that going on yesterday. So, we,
Are you gonna continue on Eidelboden?
yeah, we were thinking about tomorrow, but if we're gonna meet at that point, unless we jump right on it, you know, again, I don't wanna have to rush through it or something like that, but we're gonna get that going.
So I take it the owners aren't there this week?
I haven't seen any action there all summer. I mean, again, I'm not there on the weekends, but I haven't seen anything during the week going
Very
on.
rarely do.
I've
Yeah.
called daily for 2 weeks straight.
Right,
and
Jen's
never
got
an
no answer, cause it sounds like it's just a local number, a Madison number that, and if they're not there, they're not
So,
answering.
so if I make a turn on Eidelboden off of Briston Stock, make the right onto Eidelboden, how far up is the,
We'll go past Biasca.
Go
Right.
past
It's the
Biasca.
The house
first
right
on the
next, right past
Biasca.
Biasca.
okay, okay,
You'll see the pipe culvert
just
smashed right
envisioning
up.
where it is, okay.
It's
good.
worse than that one on that class 6 road there that we fixed a couple weeks ago.
Do a fly.
Door fly, that's it. So let me move along here. So we went to put the water tank together for the 2019, and got the tank on there and all that. When we went to wire it, we got Napa, we got some stuff to wire it to put a new connection because it had all gotten ripped off, and realized that it wasn't just going to be a quick, it's our luck. It's not going to be just a quick put a new we plug the wires in and our switches aren't working and nothing's working for it like it did. So there's a little bit of a wiring issue going on with that truck, and there's been a wiring issue going on with that truck for a while now, going back. So we did bring that over to Alan just because he's the one that's kind of done some wiring to get us by, and there's a lot of wiring that needs to be done with that truck. The headlights for the plow were never wired properly. So this tank, it's nice when it works right, it plugs right in for the calcium in the water, and there's a switch on the dash to turn it on and off. But like I said, it wasn't going to be an easy. We were hoping it would be easy, but it wasn't. So that truck's over at Allen's getting some wiring done.
So we can't lay down any brine until that's fixed,
Right.
okay. Was
Right.
the issue a legacy issue, or? Okay, all right. Just,
So just a heads up on that truck. I was hoping to get it back yesterday, but that's so that's going on. We did clean out the bus stop, the triangle turnout. We got that dug out, and I think the water's moving a lot better over there.
There was a pizza box put in, there's this thing that catches newspapers from the mailings, like marketing stuff people don't want, there's a slot, they throw it in there.
yeah,
And in the trash barrel, there were like 50 little empty nip bottles, and there were 6 to 8 vodka bottles, full size, and there was a pizza box that attracted a bear.
Yeah.
And so it just happened that Nancy was getting her mail, and Tony pulled up in the backhoe, and I walked into the bus stop, and it was a mess. So I put it in the bag.
what if that's the same bear that was spotted on Doug's driveway yesterday?
There's a mother and two infants that are on every video camera in Eidelweiss.
Yeah,
The-
There's a juvenile from last year too that's been running around.
That's all
Oh,
I
yeah.
have.
Yeah, he's a little guy. I mean, he's not little, but I mean, he's not big.
He
But
resents me.
he's been, like the size of a big black lab. He's been running around causing some trouble too.
Uh-huh.
I also picked up that tent that was left in.
Okay, I was gonna grab that. I mean, I gave it its due diligence to somebody to get it, but they didn't. But you grabbed that. You want me to come by and get that so you don't have
I
to take
brought
it
it,
up?
John Aruda took it out of my vehicle.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I was gonna mention about the other bus stop there at the mailboxes too, which is what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, again, that I'm gonna put the lock back on that so people can't just open that up and throw their McDonald's bags and empty their cars in that trash in there. I mean, it doesn't mean they're not gonna put it in the bus stop itself, but they're not gonna at least put it in the trash can there to overfill the extra mail slot, which is what that's for. I mean, use some common sense, you know what I mean? That's
Bear
not.
will rip that plywood box open to get to the empty pizza.
Well,
box.
they
Yeah.
never
But
done
they
that.
can't get it in through the slot if you lock it.
Right, they never, when it was locked in the past, I'm not really sure why I took the lock off it or in the first place back in the day, but I'll put a lock back on that and that'll hopefully make it just what it is, an extra junk mail slot for people.
Jeff, do we need to raise that building? It's really settled down. We need another layer of blocks underneath.
Yeah, I don't,
To stop the rot of the framing.
Oh,
yeah, it's maybe a possibility.
Push a block on there.
Yeah, I really never took a look at it, but is it rotting?
It's sitting right down on
The T111 across the bottom
I
kick
did
plate
see
just
that,
came
it was
off, I
rotten.
put that into the trash bag,
Yeah,
that rotted off.
might extend the life.
right. Junk mail slot. Oh, I met with a guy about the logs that we've been picking up. And, he offered up to $300. That's with us delivering it. The firewood there.
So, there's a collection of hardwood at the DPW too, I think I sent you pictures a long time ago. The-
DPW one?
One, yes.
So, I haven't had the time to go and find 3 companies to get them bids. Jeff has the bid from one company, and he's saying that we're gonna pick it up, put it in our trucks, use our fuel to deliver it to Madison.
Yes.
So there's somebody that wants to buy it for $300.
How long will that take to do?
We'll probably run it there in a day, I'm guessing, you know. Maybe a few trips. I mean, there's quite a bit of logs there. But yeah, I think we can
So
probably.
we're still losing money.
Oh, we're gonna lose money on that deal
Yeah,
by delivering it, because
yeah.
years ago, there was an auction, I bought logs right from that same location, and I paid a logger picker $100 to pick up one load, one truckload, and that's a logging truck, so it holds a lot, and drive it to my house from DPW one. So that was 15, 20 years ago for $100. So for $300, we're loading several truckloads and going back and forth
Yeah.
a little further, not too far in Madison.
No.
I'd say if they were to pick
Yeah, I
it
think-
up, it'd be okay, but with us doing it,
Well, for them to pick it up, they gotta come in here with a
Right.
piece of equipment. You know, this guy
Right,
doesn't have a
that's-
log truck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll
And-
charge us.
He'd have to come in with a piece of equipment, a trailer, and he'd make several loads, I mean. And then I don't know if it's worth him to pay $300.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he still has to process it and turn it into firewood and make $1 on it. So that's just what he had offered. I mean, I don't, he's the only guy I knew that does this stuff. I don't know, you know, I don't know anybody else, you know, I don't know, I mean, I could call.
but his $300 isn't gonna cover our labor costs, you and Tony, and fuel and use of the truck and all that.
Right.
So I'm not sure that's not a good deal at all.
We'll move on from that.
What kind of equipment does he have to pick up stuff?
I
Does he have a
think
1-ton truck that he delivers the stuff with?
get a dump trailer and a excavator, a small excavator.
With a thumb?
I think so.
So if we loaded onto his truck, that'd still tie our guys up waiting for his truck to make it back and forth.
Yeah,
Right.
So I'd say let's hold off on that.
I think so.
Let's see if we can come up with a
I
better
mean,
idea.
is it taking up valuable space? I mean, it's not really,
I mean, no,
It's
not
not
really.
away, but it's also rotting and
Right.
it will rot. It's good now,
Right.
Right,
but the more time that goes by, years can pass before you solve a problem like that.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I say we table that right now and maybe re-auction later.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I try to look through and see if there's other firewood companies, I mean. So, I didn't know, I know there's some shoulders that we need to back up here and there. I didn't know if,
This is a good lead into what I wanna talk about.
let me pick up some, 1.5 gravel we could get either at Coleman's, or there is some, Burke has, and we used some of it last year, some 3-inch gravel that they have that really backs up the road, the shoulders, really sticks to it. If I would be able to go and get a few loads of that from them to have it and to use as we need to some shoulder backups. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. And
I wanna talk about FEMA before you go.
yeah, and I did mark those, that
Pavement?
ditch line there on Briston Stock. And I don't know if you want me to move forward and give Eugene a call and,
Well, so FEMA has 7 roads on a list as a separate project with a project number. And this is not a quiz for you, this is not putting you on the spot.
Oh, good.
But the roads are
I never liked
Wintergard,
taking tests.
Wintergard, Jungfrau, Appenfeld Way, and Bristenstock, and Aspen, St. Moritz, West Bergamo. They
Yeah.
sound like a collection of roads.
Yep.
And they have very specific things. They have the GPS coordinates of it. The only thing I've heard about them walking last year or this spring was West Bergamo. And they have detailed spots,
Yep.
sites.
I could tell you exactly what that was.
They, like they give the GPS coordinates, they say 39 cubic yards of 1.5 inch gravel, 130 feet long by 4 feet wide by 2 feet deep, swept away by flooding. And then they have West Bergamo, another GPS coordinates, 195 cubic yards. And so there's lists, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places that they're putting down many cubic yards of 1.5 inch gravel. But then the other roads, they have pavement.
Yes.
So they have a list, so there's 7 roads, they have it broken down by sites on the road,
Yeah.
very specific as to how, the volume of the material that'd be used, and the length, width and depth. But then they have a list of 16 questions that they want answered for each of those sites. Did the road damages occur during the incident period of July 9th through July 17th? How many roads sustained reported damages during the severe flood event? What percentage of the road work is complete? So, I don't know how to answer these questions. Like, they saw West Bergamo and they were very specific about areas and did we go and do any fixing of West Bergamo that might be in the same area that they're identifying as being damaged? Did we add gravel to West Bergamo?
Very little.
But we did.
We addressed the washouts that were causing people you can't pass, so we fixed that. We didn't go and clean ditch lines out and re-gravel the whole road, no. We just addressed the washouts at those times. And
So you saw that they want to send 3 people here for 4 days
yes,
to go over the cleaning of 290 culverts and 40 roads of ditch lines.
40 roads.
I think that's what that said, 40 roads.
Oh, I don't know.
Do we have 40 roads?
We have
Oh, yeah.
60 roads.
60 roads. I never counted them up.
Yeah, that's gonna be first week or second week of August there.
August 12th. They gave me
Yeah.
2 range dates, and
Yeah.
I picked one, and it just happened you replied and said you're picking the same ones I already picked.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, good.
That's separate from them wanting me to answer these 16 questions about the multiple sites on 7 of the roads.
right.
And that's before I say those aren't the only roads that we
No,
have.
those, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Those roads that you mentioned, minus the West Bergamo, they met with us, Tony and I, and those were all the pavement issues at first. All those GPS
So
coordinates
those 7 roads are the pavement?
were the pavement. Winnegon, Aspen, Appenvale, those are all the shoulders that got washed out and the pavement collapsed in.
Okay, that hooks into having just outlined where we're gonna cut the pavement out of the damage that would just happen to Bristenstock by a logger.
Right,
Now, I'm thinking that we should also paint lines of where we need to fix storm damage from July.
okay,
So that we have somebody come in. One of the questions is, are we fixing the asphalt on the shoulders of these roads from the storm, or are we hiring a contractor to do it?
right. See, when they met with us and that day, the damage on the pavement wasn't so substantial, you know? What was bad was the ditch lines were so washed out, and the pavement broke a little bit, and obviously we addressed it right away, so it wouldn't break anymore. But to fix the pavement right, again, knowing that the budget was tight, that we didn't realize how much, you know, we didn't know what we were gonna be fixing, you'd have to cut it out and redo it. So, we could mark those spots, no problem, and get a better idea what that would cost. We fixed it the best way possible that we could. If we had to add some patch, we added some patch to it, and you know, backed it up and walked away.
One of the questions was we doing temporary fixes or permanent fixes, and those are temporary.
They were temporary.
So
Okay.
those are patches.
So not only do they want the 16 questions answered, but then they want forced labor, forced materials, which those words mean that we didn't hire a contractor to do it, we did it.
Right.
And so then they want the cost projections for the labor, for the materials, and for the equipment use for all of those.
Right.
As a permanent fix?
Yes, and they're saying that right now they're projecting that this is $40,000. But to do, under the federal laws, for them to give the 75% reimbursement, they need all of this information about,
Right.
which is good, because it's taxpayer money, kinda, printed. But there's a whole lot of work
Oh yeah.
to do this, so I need to figure out how to sit down and start answering these questions with you.
Yes.
By Thursday.
By Thursday.
And 16 questions they want for each of those 7 roads.
Yes, and that's not the spreadsheets that break out our projection of what the labor is for each of these road fixes, permanent fixes, what the cost of the material is for each of these road fixes, and what the reimbursement for the use of our equipment, the backhoe and the grader and the trucks,
We'll have to rent a roll.
Yeah.
if
yeah.
we do it.
Yeah,
Right.
if you have another vendor.
So it's not really decided which ones we may be doing and which ones we're gonna
Right.
contract out, so.
And so, okay, so this definitely sounds like this is, they want our forecast of what it's gonna cost to address each of these issues. It's not based on what we actually spent last year after
Right.
the storm,
Right.
Right.
okay? So this is part of that Appendix J, is that the thing?
No,
No.
that's separate,
I thought that-
That's
that-
forecasting.
that's,
But this is forecasting too,
this is forecasting,
Yeah.
fixing something that already was damaged in a storm that already
as
happened.
opposed to preventative.
Oh,
Right.
Yes,
right.
okay, got it,
Gotcha.
got it.
Right.
Preventative
Preventative.
maintenance.
That's a
Maintenance.
whole other project.
Yes, right, okay, got it, understood.
So I was explaining to them that we take home $277 a month, and we're working 6 days a week, and that we have a one-room office where we have an administrator that's handling the phones and using the computers, and if they're imagining that I'm a full-time employee, that this is what I'm working on, and I have my own office, and I can do Zooms anytime they want, and they were like, I'm seeing them on video, and they're just looking at me like, as they're realizing what I'm saying, and they were saying, we're trying to manage this thing, we keep switching around on you as we're trying to advance the 6 footballs down the field for each project. And if we see one project is gonna get delayed because we don't have information, we switch this other project. And now we realize what that's doing to you, is that, you know, I'm handling, they go from one subject to
They
another
have
subject, and there's no rhyme or reason to
constantly.
it. And they don't have the time to explain to me, and now they're realizing what it's like on our end, for me. And they're like, one of the things you have to understand is, we'll just keep pushing, but you can take all the time in the world that you need to get this done. Then I get this email from higher ups in FEMA who I never heard of, who's saying, and your projects are expiring in 60 days. It's like, So I sent that to the local team and I haven't
Yeah.
heard back from them on that, so. And to think Madison got 260,000 paid already. Somebody here, there was good communication between the highway department and
Mm-hmm.
emergency management director to get that all done, and I don't think people are appreciating what happened behind the scenes.
But they have full-time
Yeah,
people
but
to
they
do
had
Yes,
people on
yes.
it, yeah.
Right, that's,
Pay, right.
now the FEMA and the state emergency people realize that the town has a whole bunch of full-time employees, and
We don't.
we have one,
This little district does not,
we have two.
too, really, yeah.
She likes to use her office and not be interrupted when she's doing it.
She's got a lot of important stuff to do, and as does Tony and Jeff, and
We kinda need her working in the office.
So that's what we're doing, so I don't know if we should start scheduling something like at the end of the day, that we sit down for a half hour and
Right,
bang a half hour's worth of stuff out,
yeah,
like starting today.
Yeah,
yep,
So if you wanna go home at 3:30,
yeah,
maybe today we start at 2:30?
I was gonna say, yeah, I think Tony's gotta leave today around 2, I think, or something for an appointment, but, yeah, we could get going right after, right then, or however you
Actually,
wanna
it's
do it.
better that it's a time when Tony's not available for you two to be doing something else.
Right,
Right,
When you're a lone gun, that's the time to be doing this kind of stuff.
yeah,
And I can get an internet connection in the garage? Yeah,
yes,
because the FEMA people did, right?
yeah, yeah, you just gotta know the
So I
password and
can
all that
stay-
other stuff,
So
so,
it's not like we're talking, you're trying to talk on the phone in the same room.
right,
We do it that way, so 2:30, I'll meet you at the garage,
okay.
we'll start.
Yeah, cause I remember that day, I could probably answer most of those questions about that specific thing.
They want things like where the material was taken off Colby Hill and stored behind the DPW garage, I assume it's this one.
Yeah, it was out back here, yeah.
Don't look that way, because that's another garage.
Well, no, it was,
That garage or this garage?
it was this garage, but it was out and back, beyond the ball fields
Okay,
and
okay.
down around over that way.
The reason that, they want the GPS coordinates of where it moved off Colby Hill to exactly where it was stored here, before Eidelweiss came and picked it up here. Why?
How is that relevant?
Because the
What
law says they have to track where material is coming from. They don't wanna hear about towns that got rid of excess material by throwing it into
Oh,
wetlands,
Mm-hmm.
because that's against federal law. And
right.
so, this is what's involved.
Chain of custody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically
Yeah,
what
that's
it is,
really what
Where
it
did
right?
it come from, where did it store, where did it finally end up, and how much did it cost to move it? And,
Right.
jeez.
These are bureaucrats justifying
You gotta-
their
you gotta-
jobs.
You gotta capture all this stuff when it's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah,
now you know.
Yeah, so to try to put it back.
it's
you know,
hard
Try
to
and
do it this
reconstruct
way.
it, yeah.
Yes,
But if you don't know what the ground rules are to begin with, you know,
Right.
who'd think of that?
I know
Right.
more about FEMA than I wanna know
Yeah.
now.
Right,
In the meantime, we'll get contacted out of Clear Blue. Coincidentally, there's a consulting firm that will take this all over for you if you're up to your eyes in alligators and just wanna stop this.
Yeah, but for a premium
Yeah,
cost.
how much?
Yeah.
Exactly. Delete. So that's that.
okay. So we'll meet at 2:30. The only other thing I had was, I don't know where we're going with the merry-go-round.
Round and circle.
When we took that apart,
Bone breaker?
again, not knowing how it's gonna go back together or how that's even gonna, how it's supposed to work, it looked like it had been kinda rigged together differently than initially, I think. And that's probably why this didn't last like it did previously, you know, I mean, initially that thing was installed and lasted, what, 30 years, 25 years? And then you had the problem. I mean, the bearing on it, not the bearing, the shaft is worn, so that I don't even know if buying new bearings are gonna be the answer at this point, to that thing, going back on there. So I don't know how we wanna work this.
Maybe time to just consider scrapping this and figure out a way EPOW, because you were talking with it in an EPOA meeting about buying a new one. Carrie did some research into it.
Yeah. Maybe it's time for something else.
Or it doesn't have to be a merry-go-round. I mean,
Slide.
that metal thing was, you know, we used to call them bone breakers or something like that. Yeah. So, if you're on, I don't know.
Well, this is the same decision we went through the first time that the bearing went. And it was a decision, do we just yank it out? Is it something that's too old and out of date to resurrect? Is, you know, how dangerous is it? Kids love that thing. Too bad big kids love that thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
200-pound, 40-year-old kids love that thing somehow. So, what we learned is fixing the bearing only lasted for a few years. It wasn't another 30-year solution. So now the stem is in question. And we could leave the stem the way it is, but that's kind of dangerous in a playground.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a matter of whether we have time to have the backhoe take that out. Just take it out and fill the hole with
Right.
sand. And wait for a group of people that want to come up with another feature to the playground to take
Mhm.
that space or not. And what kind of priority is it for the guys to take the time in the backhoe to get the stem out of the ground, concrete?
I gotta imagine there's gotta be a concrete block in there that thing sat on.
Pretty
or something.
hefty, I bet.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it should be a 4x4 hole by the time we're done.
Yep.
So one, it sounds like the existing merry-go-round is not salvageable. And the second issue is getting rid of that stem in the playground. And once that's done, a future issue of, which would be an EPOA thing of some sort of replacement
Right,
playground
implement.
apparatus.
So I'll make a motion that the DPW takes the footing, the stem out of the playground when they have time.
Second.
Aye,
We could take care of that.
yeah.
3-0?
Aye. And I don't wanna see anybody get trip on it or,
No,
you
absolutely.
know,
I just,
so,
like I said, I wouldn't know how to put it back together. And the way, like I said, there was a ratchet strap with some kind of little caster wheel there,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's how it was originally. I can't imagine it
Yeah.
was. So they kind of, rigged this up. I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry, I think we got our money's worth out of that. It's time
Yeah.
to move on.
And if somebody has a better idea and watches this and wants to do something, then I don't know.
They'll come up with a better idea right after we rip it out of the ground.
Right. But that's all I have.
Okay, so the 2019 Ram and its catalytic converter cover,
Yes.
you think we should follow through and try to get that fixed locally, or what should we do with that?
Did we ever make the contact to the
Well, I
fabricator?
think we're gonna start by taking pictures of it, so we had something to talk to him about.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's,
maybe 2:30 this afternoon, we immediately delay our task and start taking pictures of what that thing looks like, so we can get that.
yeah, I don't have it in the shop right now. It's over at Albany Service for that wiring.
So we won't do that today.
But as soon as I get that back, I could definitely get some pictures of that.
Right, so we do wanna follow through and see if we can get that.
Yeah, I
Was this
mean,
for, I seem to recall you had an idea to use a local metal fabricator
Yes.
to.
right.
Just wanna see if,
And I do have a couple pictures of it, damaged. I'll show you
okay,
this afternoon and see if those suffice or if we gotta get a few more.
I just see if I can get 15 minutes to have this guy tell me whether I'm crazy or not, that's all I
Right.
need.
But, yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Anything else for Jeff?
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Before he goes,
Yeah,
before Jeff goes, I got a couple of quick items.
yeah.
Yeah, he is on.
I've been working with Jeff and Tony on a number of things, the rafts and the record storage room with the cabana and so forth. And just wanted to put it on the record that these guys are doing a great job. It's a delight to work with them. What a change. It's really, really wonderful. Second, just a suggestion on the raft floats. If we had the float, the new float available, then we could have pulled the raft, repaired it, and put it right back out in one job, rather than loading the backhoe in there twice, doing it as two separate jobs. So I'd highly recommend, sooner than later, inventorying at least a couple of those floats, so that the work can be simplified. Big time saver, I think, going
Right.
forward. Number 3, working with Jeff and Tony, it seemed pretty obvious that there's a real shortage of tools. Makes things more difficult to get done. Some trips back and forth to the garage to get things, that there's no toolbox in the trucks, for example. I'd like to suggest that we think about, unless there's funds available now, but we could work on a warrant article for next spring to stock up on tools. There should be a good mechanics set in each garage. There should be a small toolbox in each truck, for example. That would vastly increase efficiency, I think. Just make life a whole lot easier for these guys. So if that's a reasonable idea, then the suggestion would be that maybe Jeff and Tony could start working up a list of what you think you need.
If it means anything to you, it's already on my 2025 warrant list, to get some type of toolboxes and things that they would have in the trucks and available. So when we get to the point of where we start talking about this, that's already on my list.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, like you said, just in terms of labor efficiency and man-hours expended
Yeah.
on jobs, it's a no-brainer.
It's short.
Yeah.
It would pay for itself very
And if
quickly.
there's one of the thing, and it's in the other garage, you're doing work in this garage, you gotta run over there and get it, come back, do the job.
Right?
It doesn't make any sense. We should have duplicate sets in the 2 garages and a stock in each truck as well. And lastly, this is a really low priority, but I just wanted to put it out for the back burner. That district garage bay at the Cabana, Jeff and I took a quick look at that when we were wrapping up there Friday. It's packed full of stuff, pipes, water pipes, there's some 8-inch, those might be.
Those old blue brute pipes.
blue
Yep.
root.
It's all
There's-
sorts of different sizes and pipes in there, and
Yeah, there's a pile of.
2-inch water pipes, inch and a half, they're different various sizes of the water line itself that's, been rolled up, but the cap, no end caps, I mean, God knows what's in it, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of junk. There's that old, I think it's a small Kwanzaa hut type of thing that's up in there, it's been in there since I've been here. Similar, and like the salt shed, but on a smaller scale. That old, so I don't mean to cut you off, Doug.
Oh, no,
You were
jump right
rolling
in.
along there pretty good.
Jump right in.
There's that old hopper that was, used to be the crack sealer
Yeah.
machine. Yeah, all sorts of junk in there.
Yeah, I had to crawl through there last week when Danny, the electrician, was in.
Dangerous.
Turn on the light in there and see what's going on. He said, "Boy, you need to clean the space out." And I said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I think our DPW guys are tied up too much so at the moment, but maybe in the future look at it, because I don't know if that's a space you could use in the future if it was cleared out."
So where is this again?
The Cabana.
Summit Cabana. There's a bay that just DPW's going back probably 20, 30 years of just sort of used as a, just stick it in there because they didn't know what else to do with it.
Water system primarily, I
A
think.
water system too, yeah, just a lot of old water lines that probably are not any good anymore, although, maybe Ian could tell
I
us.
think they talked about that they're probably not, they're so dirty and full with sand and junk.
Okay. So my guess is,
Have to ask.
there's no salvage value in any of it, it would just be trashed eventually, I'm sure.
Probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
But one option would be to I'd be willing to help too, but if we could have Jeff and Ian and I, anybody else that wants to, meet there for an hour, just go through the stuff, open the door, take a look at what's in there, figure out what's there, and then make some recommendations, trash it, sell
Right.
it.
Might take 5 minutes to figure out, get a dumpster and get rid of it all. I mean, who knows, whatever, but.
that would probably take a full day to clear out.
Oh, no, I just
There's
need
a
a
lot.
5-minute decision.
Oh, 5 minutes, okay,
Yeah, it's
good,
not a
good,
5-minute,
Yeah.
not a 5-minute job to get rid of it, it's a 5-minute
Yeah,
decision on whether
I-
you wanna just.
I've crawled through that space many times, and there's a lot of crap in there.
And when you say crawl, you're literally on your hands and knees going up and over that
No,
stuff.
I was walking, but it was a very shaky, unstable process.
Right, no, I've
But-
been in there,
but
not,
it
not
It was in the
recent.
dock.
Well, it was because that's how from the record storage area, the door, which is gonna get replaced and make it secure completely, but now you can just get in, you have to walk all the way down to the pull-up door to flip the switch.
Right,
So,
Should be.
all I'm thinking is,
Should be 2 switches.
there might be, but no, there.
no,
yeah,
there
there's
isn't,
switch.
there should be.
There should be, but there isn't.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, yeah, I think that's a low priority, but I guess looking ahead a year or two, if that space could be cleared out, that could be a valuable space for you guys, I don't know.
Yeah,
Or it could be for some other
it could be for
VDOE
something
purpose.
else that the district could use or whatever, but.
I mean,
Low priority, but we noticed it Friday when we were working there, and we thought we should at least get it on the record that,
See, the electrical work and the ceiling tiles are done, now you need the carpenter to do door work and,
right, there's gonna be the exterior door, to the outside. There'll be the door that goes into the space we were just talking about, but then if someone got into that space, they could still crawl over into the record storage, so that's gonna be sealed off at the ceiling area. Then there's gonna be within the record storage area, we got another space that we can make a really secure storage area, so that's gonna be sealed off as well. So somebody, if they broke into the record storage area, they would really have a tough time getting into the next room, because that'd be locked up and sealed from the top.
Right.
So there's gonna be multiple security areas in there. So,
probably enough publicly on that.
Yeah,
and that's all I had. I just wanted to thank Jeff and Tony for their great work. It's been a real pleasure working with you on these projects, so.
Thanks, Doug.
Anything else?
Alrighty, we'll get
See you
back
at
at it.
2:30.
We'll see you after. Thank you.
stay dry.
Yes.
At 10:13, we'll see if there's an administrator's report.
No, I have nothing.
10:13, we'll move to signature item Northway Bank. Account agreement, 40,000 deposit for new operations account. So we're signing something?
Yeah. Along with the check as well, if you want to. Okay,
Nancy snuck in there already, the overachiever.
she did. She still gotta sign the check though. Okay.
I will ask them to order deposit slips for that.
I'm sorry?
I'll ask the bank to order deposit slips for the new account.
Okay.
And then I'll have a copy of the signature card so you can get the checks.
There's nothing else in it. Just sign it.
What it didn't sign.
Oh, what did I miss?
We,
Oh, I just signed the check, sorry.
Diane needs to sign this.
It's gonna sign two places actually.
Yep. I can't gamble with money.
I know, too bad.
Very lucky.
So, let's see, so we're done with signature items then?
Oh, that's the only thing.
So we're gonna move at 10:15, we'll go to commissioners' reports. And I'll lead off. So you just heard the FEMA stuff that, I got a bigger reading on the size of this iceberg. And that's making me think that there's things that on the list to do that we should talk about that aren't getting done, that have been around for a while. One is following up with Primex on lost and damaged equipment from the DPW. Initially, I contacted Primex and they put me in touch with a agent that was handling a claim, and it didn't become clear until months later that he was only handling the issue with the bank and the $14,000, and said there's somebody else that should be doing the lost and stolen equipment
Mhm.
claim. We need to follow up with
Want me to
them.
take that?
Yeah, somebody needs.
I'll take it.
So that needs to ask Primex, who is the agent that should have been handling this?
Right, who should have it and get the list to them and that, yes, okay.
Another thing is the application for the credit card. We brought that to the point that we found out that Northway said we could have a municipal card that didn't have to be in the treasurer's name, what they're using the treasurer and all that. But that's where that stopped. We haven't even raised the issue ourselves, so we have the application and we need to follow through and fill in the application and get
Want me to
that.
do that?
You wanna do that? Yes?
Okay.
And the third thing is I found the folder that I think you had already found, Nancy, that had the actual hard copy bills for things that were purchased as part of that cyber grant.
Yes, yes.
So I scanned it and I have not taken the form that came from the grant people that said this is how you apply for the reimbursement and sent it in, so that needs to be done. Getting, I think the firewall network controller was a $500 item, and everything else we already knew was the Amazon stuff.
Mhm.
So I think it's,
It was 19
it
total?
totals that we're gonna get $1,900 out of a $19,000
Yeah.
grant.
Sad.
10%.
So that needs to be followed up with. I don't know how you wanna go about that. Can you put those two things together? The scan that I did and the form, and send that in to see if we can get reimbursed for that?
Don't you have to sign the documents? Isn't there documents to sign with that?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
I just,
I'll see what I can put together and, I mean, Nancy's gonna have letters
Right.
to be, so all that's gonna get done, so. You're all obviously gonna have to come to the office for signatures on something. So,
I'll stop there. Thing that I haven't done,
Okay,
my report.
I'm just curious, did we ever hear back from Tom?
I did not.
I had one conversation with Tom.
Right.
He was saying he was gonna come into the office, this was last week. And I don't believe he came in, but he needs to get a picture of,
Right,
Something.
that's where we stood the
Yes.
last couple
I
weeks.
gotta send,
Yes.
I gotta send
Okay.
it back.
yeah, so.
So it's a
I
matter
can-
of pinning
I can
him
read-
down
To the woman,
and
You
revisiting
don't
that
need to
whole,
send this is just.
no.
Yeah,
basically that meeting we had with him several months ago.
I can certainly
Okay.
give another
Okay,
shout out to him, and I also wanna contact the office staff to see if we can get we used to have an agreement with them that said they would show up X amount of times a year and look at all of the equipment and make sure, and we had a certain amount of hours per quarter that were involved, that were included in the annual agreement. So I wanna get in touch with the office and see if they still have that type of, setup and get the information for us, for that, so. And at the same time, I'll make a comment that he owes us some information.
okay, all right. I just have two things, just sort of observations. One, just to the EPOA cookout event this past Saturday. It was a real success. I've never seen that many people at the cookout, so kudos to everybody who chipped in on that, but especially the EPOA people. There was a lot of hands, and many hands make for light work, and that really helped. And I hope that continues into the future, with the caveat that those hands that help make light work become younger hands. And that brings me to my next point, is because the VDOE right now, our focus is on drainage and roads and all that. There was a program this past Saturday at Tin Mountain called Unpaved Road Maintenance, Winning the Battle of Mud, Potholes, and Washouts. And the presenter was Russ, you know this guy, Lanoy. And it was a great program. I mean, obviously I'm learning a lot here on the job about this, but this guy has been in the business, Russ, for 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's over 80 years old. But that was the problem. I'm looking around the room. There was at least 50 people there. It was a great turnout, but virtually to the man and woman, they were all baby boomers or even older. Maybe a smattering of Gen X. And this is a real concern to me, for the future of the village district of Eidelweiss. And I think it's going to be our job in the future to, once we get the major problems and taken care of and things are running a little smoother, to do some kind of PR campaign to get the younger families interested. I mean, they don't have to do anything right now. They just need to be there, know what's going on, and then perhaps starting to become engaged, because if they want a village district of Eidelweiss in the future, it's going to be them. Our generation, if we're not dying off, which is happening, we're becoming infirm and incapable at a pretty rapid pace. So again, that meeting struck home. I was really shocked that there weren't a lot more younger people at a very, very informative seminar by a seasoned veteran of this, and someone like him is not going to be around that much longer. So that's my 2 cents in soapbox talk for today.
And I think all municipalities, small municipalities, outside New Hampshire as well, are going through the same issue, where the younger people aren't engaging,
Yeah. No.
I don't think it's just us.
No, I agree. It's a national problem, but sooner or later they're going to have to step up to the plate, or they're going to find themselves in deep kimchi.
Nancy?
Okay.
Were you done, Mark?
Yep.
Okay.
We did see 57 Eidelweiss Drive. I know that the DPW, the district's going to have to fix that culvert, that road culvert. I did not put any letter or anything together for him. I didn't know if there was something else that we needed the homeowner to engage, or if this is just something that is gonna be on, when we pave Eidelweiss Drive, we're gonna have to replace that culvert. So just a district be aware of, or, if there were other things there.
Well, there were certain steps that that homeowner said he would take care of in the interim. And I
Right.
think last time I walked past, it looked like he took care of some of it. But I think we need all
Yeah, there
three
were
of
some
us.
rocks and
Yes.
stuff that needed to
just-
get moved away from.
I need to learn to start taking notes. You're much better at taking notes as to what he said he would do. And like I said, to my best I could tell, he did some of it. But you can only go so far. And then,
Okay.
Drop these
So,
copies off for you, okay? I'll drop these copies off of you,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Go.
Yep.
so I can certainly, if we want to send a letter to him, I can certainly work on that. Yes,
Okay.
no? Do we need a letter for him?
Well, he needs to notify us when he's completed. I would assume you guys want to inspect this again.
It wasn't actually the driveway.
Oh.
It's some stuff off to the side where the curb stop was put in, and a lot of big rocks and stuff got put right off the side of the road. So it's not actually the driveway.
I see.
It's debris along the edge of the property.
But he said he was gonna do some stuff to his driveway, like negative grade and things like that, to bring it into compliance with the ordinance.
Okay.
And also the culvert was, there was some issues, the.
Headers.
The headers, yeah.
Yep, okay. All right. I'll have
Yeah,
rounds
thank him
up.
for being so cooperative too. He was
Yes,
very good about talking about this stuff.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So we'll certainly get a draft to the board for that.
Right.
The two that I did have together, to Chicoro Review, submitted the drawings. The drawings look good. We discussed them last week, so I have a draft that needs to go on letterhead, saying that he should continue his work as drawn. So I didn't know if that one was okay for,
Yeah, I met that homeowner at the cookout, and he said that he was gonna take care of all the debris at the end, the dead end of Chicago
Yes.
View, but it turned out his neighbor or somebody came and wanted it and just took it all away, so that
Oh,
part,
good.
that part is done.
good. Good, so we'll sign it out of session for
Yes.
six,
Yeah.
for two Chicora. All right, and 3 Rhineac, I had sent out a draft, I revised it. I don't know if anybody saw it, it was this morning that I sent the
I printed it in case they wanna look at it.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
So I changed it into 3 or specific
4 different bullet
Lists.
types. Yep.
showing the need to set the negative grade, and I believe it was about 10 feet that we
10
discussed.
feet. Yep.
So that was what I put in the letter, to get the negative grade, the culvert with headers, allowing the 30-foot, to put the stone in the ditch line coming out of the culvert to slow down the water way before it gets to Bristenstock, and to make sure that the final driveway will only be at the 20 feet allowed. I don't think I missed anything on the second draft. I missed everything on the first draft, but
Good.
we do things like that
Okay.
sometimes.
And they said they were gonna, if I recall correctly, that second temporary driveway was just gonna be filled in with,
That's what he's saying, so we will, when we do a final inspection, if that driveway's still there, he is gonna need to have a driveway permit for that, if it's gonna be used. Right now, they're saying they're just got the trailer parked there, so,
right. But they said eventually it's gonna be filled in with something.
Landscape for a road.
Yeah.
right,
Okay.
okay, so we okay to sign out a letter?
Yes.
Okay, good. And just so everybody knows, I counted the list. We have started and worked at 65 driveways since we started this exercise and found the unfinished business that we found in the draw and in the DPW one. So it was 65 total that we have inspected so far. 33 of them received expired letters that we have not had contact with yet. They have not gotten back to us. So my thought is we're gonna be in a non-public session tomorrow, and we will let them know how many we have and get some good strong guidance for how to approach the ones that we had not heard back from. So it is nice to know that we have heard from at least 30 of them,
50%.
you know? So at least so, hey, it could have been 2%, you know? So I just wanted you guys to know where we started and where we're at, you know?
I didn't
'Cause
realize we're up to 60.
We were kind
plus.
of guessing. We were thinking, you know, maybe 50, but no, it's 65 driveways that this board has already reviewed and taken contact info on.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
And that was my report.
Very good. So at 10:32, we'll move on to correspondence. And the first bullet item is Granite State analytical uranium test on Muddy Beach, which it
Was
passed.
compliant.
We
Yes,
passed.
Yes,
yes.
Yay.
it's good to hear.
So I was thinking of that. Not only do we worry about the bearings that are happening in playground equipment and erosion that's happening in 500 driveways in Eidelweiss, but we even have to be concerned about what's happening under the ground,
Yes.
and it changes.
Yep.
That's the interesting thing, is it's all guessing what happens under a bedrock well where uranium levels change,
Mm-hmm.
and no one's exactly sure why or how,
Yeah.
but they change, and we test for it.
The only way I can answer when people ask me about that, you know, what's up with the uranium, that letter, and sometimes you see a little bit of like fear in their face. It's just, the letter would have said if there was a real danger, you know, you would have gotten a much more, I don't know, strident letter saying this is a real issue, warning. So,
Yeah, it's hard to make comments on it because you don't want to have people misinterpret the words you're saying.
right.
Right.
And one of my favorite all-time quotes is, the biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it has taken place. You think that what you're saying is being received by the person the way you intended it, and it's not. And one of the communications I'd like to have is, when this first started happening again, over a year ago,
Yeah.
I found
2023.
maps of where uranium is in New Hampshire, underground, where it's likely to be found.
It's like everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, the
Statewide.
odds of you sinking a well and not hitting uranium is very high. I should put that on the web, and it took some time because it didn't have any markings on it, political boundary marking. It didn't tell you where anything was. It was just a geological map. Here's the state of New Hampshire, and here's color-coded where uranium might be. So I had to figure out how to identify where Madison was in this map. So I did my own overlay. And the town of Madison is in a very high uranium area for the entire state. So we have to test for it because we have a public well. Everybody else that has private wells don't have to test for it. They test for radon, which is the gas that comes out of the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they have to test for the water.
I think it's up to the
It's their
property
choice.
owner, to the person that has the well, what they test for
Yep.
and how often, you know?
So that's all I'll say about that, is that maybe I'll have time to get that out onto the web. That's another thing that I haven't gotten around to. We never went back and did any more work. I haven't even looked to see whether we're putting minutes up on the web. You haven't?
Yeah,
I haven't
not
really
old
had time to
ones.
go check. Old one?
Only had
Just the new
time for
ones.
new ones,
Oh,
yeah.
no,
Good, very
going
good.
forward, yeah.
Yep.
That's good, Jennifer. So if I have time, I'll stick that uranium map up and the tests. If people want to,
Yeah, people were concerned, so
if they
getting
want to
the,
see their own copy,
yep,
we'll put that up.
Sure.
And maybe I'll put it out on Facebook that's available to look at.
mhm,
That just spawns a whole bunch of other questions that you can't answer if they want somebody to interpret anything beyond the fact that it says it passed,
right.
right? All right, enough on uranium? Application for driveway permit 27 Hotwell.
Yep, I have it here. I don't know if you want to review it out of session or,
Is this the one across the intersection of Platts?
I believe so.
So you haven't seen this yet?
I have not.
Okay. So, do we want to review this? What-
Right now,
This isn't the house with two driveways, or one was illegal?
No.
this is
No, this is the house next door.
Next door, where they just put the septic in?
No, they haven't done anything yet.
Oh, it's
Well-
unbuilt lot right now?
Yes,
Okay, okay, got it.
unbuilt lot at this point.
Gotcha.
so he was originally someone we reached out to because we believed he was putting in a driveway,
Yes.
when really it was the markings of the prior owner coming to collect the stuff he left on the property. Wasn't really intended that there was a driveway going in at all, and so he knew what he had to do, and he said, I'm getting my maps together, everything's getting together, and he, right on cue too, when he said he was gonna do it, he was in the office completing the application and providing what he had to get the driveway going.
So on this page, this is the interesting one. This is where you get to draw the negative grade.
Yeah,
So there's the drawing.
I think people struggle with this.
Well, that's what I'm getting at is that when we start to clean this up, this needs to become an instruction book
Yes.
as well as an application. And we need to have a better drawing, and we need to say more about what this negative grade is, because that's just a straight line. It says minus 12 inches. What does that mean? It's like, part of it is, this form is not helping either side get
Right.
it right.
Yeah.
But this part about answering the question about whether you're gonna connect to the water system or have your own well, that's really helpful, is this person does not plan on having their own well and does plan on applying for a water hookup.
Mhm.
So this will be another user on the Como zone that we're trying to make sure
Is gonna be secure.
that we have enough water flow to.
Oh.
Then there's the edge of the road and the culvert drawn off the grid, 10 feet to something.
So is this something we need to meet with the homeowner, so they can tell us what this all means?
I think when somebody applies, we need to start a computer file that has pictures of what the lot looks like right now when the application comes in. I think that's what Pete used to do, Pete Croft. Who may have been doing this whole procedure better than anybody had been.
Yes.
And we kind of got away from how well he did it.
Yeah, I think it's 10 feet there showing as negative grade, going up towards where it's gonna meet Hotwell.
So, should this be a motion to approve construction of the driveway?
Yes.
So, you haven't seen this yet, Nancy? So I'll make a motion that we approve construction of this driveway for discussion.
Second.
Okay, just to add with that, there's conditions that can be put on the construction permit.
He's putting a culvert in according to his drawing.
Yep. Yep. And it does say home driveway, 10 feet, negative grade, culvert at bottom.
But it doesn't say what size culvert.
Right,
We can certainly,
Should we tell them
State
what
that.
size culvert
yep.
is required, and do we need to go out and just take a quick look at it ourselves?
is good. So I will certainly get a couple of pictures that we can start a file with
Okay,
the new, and we will sign the permit for construction out of session based on this review.
I think, again, I'd be more comfortable if we did state what size culvert we want them to put in.
Yeah, that should be part of the
Right.
conditions on the permit.
If that's us going out, or maybe just having Jeff take a quick drive-by, take a quick look at it, and get back to us with his recommendations. Just walked by there the other day, but I was looking,
Yeah,
I don't tend to pay attention to empty lots. I'm looking at the ones that houses there or ones under
Yep.
construction.
yeah, we can certainly get Jeff's
Okay,
input on the culvert size.
So
Okay.
there's a motion seconded
Yes.
to approve that.
Mhm.
Are we going to vote on that or hold off on the vote, or what do you wanna do with this motion?
can we approve it with the caveat that
Mhm.
the culvert size needs to be added? Our recommended, not recommended, our required culvert size
To be added.
to be
As a
added.
condition on the permit itself.
Right.
Yep. And sign it with the,
That I would approve.
Yep,
yep,
okay,
So you have that motion?
yep.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Yep.
So next on the correspondence last is letter regarding 3 Bristol stock.
So I forwarded that around to everybody.
Yes, I didn't have it marked on my list that we had sent that, signed it as a letter. I only had written down that we, sent the email. And Jen pulled the letter and said, yeah, we have actually signed the letter, so
You did
that's,
and mailed it.
that's a
Yep.
good thing.
Right,
Okay, that's regarding the water, okay.
Yes,
Yep, I remember that.
yes,
okay, so this is correspondence from
Remember.
the owner at 1 Bristol stock,
Hank had his input on
about
that as
3
well.
Bristol stock.
oh, okay,
Yeah, so I sent correspondence, I forwarded it all to you guys, so you have it. It's quite lengthy, nobody read it?
On 3 Bristol top, but this, okay,
Yeah, the inquiry from the owner at 1
Yes.
Bristol stock about 3, right,
yeah, I saw it.
okay.
Anything further on that?
Well, we need to provide some kind of response, or unless you want to take more time to review this correspondence and,
I'm gonna take another look at it.
Oh, wait, our correspondence to. the-
No,
oh,
this is from the homeowner next door. From 1 Bristol stock.
Okay, that,
What was the
that's
subject,
not ringing
what
a
was the
bell.
subject title of that email?
construction at 3 Bristol stock.
When did you send that, Jennifer?
On July 29th, so
So yesterday.
we just got it.
Yep.
Yeah, it would have been like, kind of, I would have sent it to you around 8, a little after 8 maybe, AM. Subject, construction at 3 Bristol stock. And it had attachments.
Why am I not seeing that?
I didn't see it either.
Well, we can hold on that for now.
We'll look. See you, Doug.
Take care, Doug.
Take care.
In fact, the owner of 1, where the inquiry is coming from, sent it to your email addresses directly as well, including Nancy.
Oh.
And Mark.
And
in
me,
the
was
office.
I on that, or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you sent it to my Yahoo, as opposed to my usual one I use, which is now.
Well, we won't waste any time getting
Yeah.
Friday.
Right.
Okay, very
I'll
good.
have to look for it.
Yep. All right,
Right,
Public
well,
appearance, the public left. Public comments. So next is to go into non-public session, and we're going to continue this meeting into tomorrow? Also?
Wednesday? I thought we were meeting.
Yes.
Oh, tomorrow's Wednesday, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yes,
right, right.
tomorrow's
I'm
Wednesday.
getting ahead of myself, yeah, okay.
So yes.
Yep,
So, to go
At-
into non-public session for protection of reputation in 91A, roll call vote. Nancy, how do you vote? Make a motion to go into non-public session, do you second?
Second,
And then roll call, how do you vote?
yep. Aye.
aye.
And Wood
Aye.
votes aye, and I vote aye.
okay.
Thank you, Aisha.